Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Karen Sims. Good morning, Twisted Threads. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, YouTube family, everywhere. We're going to be expanding some more places. But it's Wednesday, and we're going to get in with our reflections of hope. My apologies for the midweek. But yes, I was out of town, getting some refreshing and getting some professional development. So excited about what I want to talk about today, because one of the things that just happens organically, hopefully, when you come in new spaces, as we talk about reflections of purpose, this one is entitled Village People. And so Village People is intentional because we have the opportunity to think about who's in our circles, who is in our circles. And a lot of times, in the circles that I'm in, folks will either consider me the crazy one, the one with the mouth, the positive one, so, the encourager. Each of us have a role to play in the villages that of the people who are around us. So that was where the title Village People came from. So in my professional development, I attended a conference where I was able to add to my village over the last couple of days. And the important part of me being able to add to my village is the fact that I get more information in my toolkit. So it's kind of one of those things that by kind of design, I am an introvert, and most people are like, no, Karen, you so outgoing. No, my job made me, my surroundings made me have to sort of be an extroverted introvert, meaning I can go out and, be the life of a party. But look, after a couple of minutes or maybe 1 hour of that, I've got to then retreat back and kind of get that balance in my mindset and my space. And I wanted to go over today just a reminder of some folks that you want to have in your village. So, I talk about a lot about mentorship and having mentors in your life, but even having more than one mentor, because you may have a mentor who is mentoring you on the side of your professional development. You may have a money mentor. You may have a business mentor. You may have a mentor in different areas of your life. And the importance of having these folks in your village is really because you never know who you're going to need, but you don't need too many that, you have to cultivate each of these relationships, not just so that you're not calling on them just because it's like, well, I need something, so I'm going to call Miss Sally. Well, if you don't cultivate that relationship with Miss Sally, then she may not make time for you. And so in your village, wanted to go over quickly just some folks that you need to make sure you have. So you need to make sure you got some positive people in your village. True indeed, everybody is not positive. So you may have a couple of ringers in there that may serve another purpose. Positivity may not be their gifting, but they may have the gift of transparency. A lot of people would be like, I'm a realist. Okay. And when I need real, I'm going to call you. Some of us don't want real all the time. The line that says you can't handle the truth. We get that way sometimes. We don't want to always see ourselves in the mirror when we've got to reflect on maybe things that we've done wrong, character flaws that need to be addressed. So you got the positive people, you got the real people, transparent folks. We already have talked about many times about you having a mentor. So one of the conversations that I had during the retreat this week was talking about having a sponsor or a few sponsors in your life. Now, ladies, before y'all get crazy, we're not talking about sugar daddies at all. What we are talking about for ladies and gentlemen are people who are willing to not just mentor you, but open doors for you. So maybe they know where opportunities are where you can serve. They know where opportunities are where you can get business experience. And not only will they tell you about those opportunities, but they'll say, hey, I'm maybe on this Rotary, or I'm on this board, or I'm working with this group, and we've got an opportunity that I think would match up well with your skills. We've got an opportunity that I think would match up well with your talents and your passion, and it might be great for you to come over here and let me introduce you to, and Miss Sally is going to introduce you to Joe, and Joe is going to to introduce you to Mary. And so as you get that network, these people become your village people, the people who you call on. Because you all know who I am, you better have somebody in your village who could pray. I got a couple people, because I got a couple of folks on my list that I need them to pray for some things, when I feel myself, when Karen gets too hardy, usually somebody's feelings might get hurt. And so I'll, send out that call to my sisters and brothers. Hey, I need some extra prayer today. I know that there are those of you who pray for me on a regular. I thank you for that. But then there's sometimes where we need those strategic prayers of, hey, I need strength, or hey, I just need peace, because strength, I might use that in the wrong way too. Most of us don't think about that. But we need people who, outside of the sponsors, we need our encouragers. We need people who are able to lift us up. We also need those folks who are going to make us laugh. And the best people to have in your village are the people who will make you laugh about yourself. They'll make you laugh about your mistakes, so that it's not something that your mistakes and your flaws will depress you. We know that they're there. We know that we each have flaws, but it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing in our lives. What it means is we've got an opportunity to maybe hone on some skills to do better in some areas. I love it, because some of the conversations, the thought was, when we had a long conversation about charisma and whether people have it and whether they don't, and you can't teach somebody. And it's like, yeah, you can teach somebody to have charisma. You can teach someone to be charming. You can teach someone to command a room. You can teach people that, but it's a choice. It's a choice on, will they maybe come outside of themselves to bring a better portion of themselves as they're looking at folks. And I know I'm on a little bit early for my time, but I got work to do. I ain't been there, so I'm not sure what I'm gonna walk into. So I try to have a positive attitude, and I love it, because when I walk in the door, the folks who are in my village at work is kind of like, hey, are you busy? Are you ready for a question? I know you just got here. If I walked in the door, I was ready. I got ready when I left my house. I was ready before I walked in the door. So I know that we're not all like that. Like some people, they need moments of zen before they can kind of get busy with their day. And speaking of that, you need your zen folks. You need those folks who are going to calm you down and be like, okay, let's evaluate what the situation is. And, I get those moments where it's like frantic moments. You don't understand. This is what they did to me. And usually my voice gets higher. I'm talking faster. So those around me be like, oh my goodness, what's about to go down? In those times, you need those zen folks in your village as well, because they know, okay, let's look at this in a different way. Yes, it's a situation that maybe you would rather not deal with, but is everybody alive? Is anybody hurt? Are you able to get to the resources should you need them? These are things that should calm you down. And, I've got those folks where it's like, ooh, it's going crazy over here. I also have those folks who will hype me up. Yeah. And usually they're in the same circles. I've got a zen person in the circle, and I got a hype person in the circle. And you need those folks to be like, no, you could do that. Go ahead on. No, go further. We need those hype people. And I love it, because when I think about, hip hop days, we had folks like Flavor Flav. You might have not liked him, but he was a great hype man. Dougie Fresh, most people think of him in different ways, but he also is a super duper hype man. And it's not just a hype man for a person. He's a hype man that when you go to events and he's a host or he's participating in it, he knows how to get the crowd live. You need those people in your circle who know how to make you come alive. And it's just, their presence where it comes in the room. Sometimes I'm the hype man, so I'm really, good about that. So what we doing today? All right, let's get it. But when people get too hyped, I'd be like, all right, if you could just turn that down a little bit. Sometimes we're not always ready for everything. I talk specifically about our village people because it's important for us to remember to cultivate those relationships, because we never know when we're going to need them. We never know when we need that shoulder to cry on. We never know when we need those people who allow us to show weakness. Sometimes we've got folks that we always got to be on point. We've always got to be strong. We always got, no, nope, this person, oh, Karen already have that, always have the answer. No, I don't. I had one thing where I gave somebody the wrong answer. And they try to call me out, but it's an interesting thing. Like, if I give you a wrong answer, I'm accountable for my answer. So you get an apology for me not knowing more about what it was. But guess what? Yeah, nothing didn't break. We're good, and we all get to learn from it. I think that's the biggest thing, is that, and I've talked a lot about not internalizing when things happen. Sometimes you got to have those people in your village who also remind you, it's not that serious. It's not that serious. Yeah, I know. But guess what? You get to leave that job. And if that thing doesn't work out, then you get to go to another job, Now, family, that's another story about the village, because we don't get to choose them. But look, we got to figure out how we even operate with our family, because our families are our village people that we never got to choose, and some of them are good, and all of us, we got, even siblings, it's like, okay, I'll keep that one, I don't want to keep that one. My 5 children, they each have sort of like niches of, those ones get along really well, and those ones get along really well, and these ones, they clash. And it's funny because the opposites will attract each other, but the like-minded ones, like, they could be around each other for a little while and then they get crazy. And so me seeing that, I get to understand. And I love it, because one of the biggest things about the conference that I went to, it was a Minority Advancement Institute. And basically, in my profession, we brought people of diverse backgrounds, and not just, color or race, but all different points of diversity, to have conversations about professional advancement in the workplace, and how to do it. What's the tips? What's the tools? What's the tricks on getting it done to sort of break those glass ceilings? And I love it, because the conversations were really, really rich, and they were not just around, how do you address diversity, or not just racism, but implicit bias and microaggressions, which we didn't talk a lot about. But when we think about how to go about, and who is in our circles, and what we want our circles to look like, we still get those choices. My sister Nikita posted something. It's like, if you got toxic people in your family, it's okay to stay away from them. And that caused the whole thing, because people are like, no, it's family. You're supposed to always love them and be around them. Look, some of my family steal, some of them lie. Maybe you don't have that in your family, but they can't come to my house, because look, I got 5 things that belong to me, and I need all 5 of them to stay here. We get to still choose. It doesn't mean, your family. Now, your husband, your kids, you stuck with them. It ain't nothing you can do. Your parents, you stuck with them to a certain extent. But if they bring toxic behavior, you get to get, that bubble wrap around you. You get to put that Teflon on your skin, so that you don't become damaged by the toxic way that they live their lives. And it's okay for you not to agree. It's okay for you not to have all of the answers, or it's even okay for you to let them stay where they want to stay. Yes, we want to lift people up, and we want to get them out of things, but everybody doesn't want to be saved. A lot of people don't want to be Christians because they don't want to follow Jesus. So it's a choice. It's a choice that people have. We each get the opportunity to use it, our gift of choice, but we also have the chance to build our circles, figure out the people who are around us, figure out the messaging that we want our lives to put forth. And it's an interesting thing, because as we were growing up, we didn't have social media, we didn't have Facebook, there was no live, every little thing wasn't being recorded, thank God. For us who are, over 30? Yeah, that some of our mishaps we remember, but it's not recorded in most places. Our young people, we really have to lift them up, those folks who we call millennials, because a lot of what they are doing is becoming public record now. And imagine some of your greatest failures becoming public record, and what that does to your mindset. If you had to worry about that too. So excited about the day and where we get to go. Again, it's Wednesday. Reflections of Purpose. Specifically build up your village for the people that you know you're going to need. You better get you some recruiters on there, get people in different professions. Maybe you get some legal advice. Maybe you get some medical advice. Get you a nurse, get you a doctor, get you a lawyer. Get you a practitioner, and even get you an OCD friend. Get you a messy friend and an OCD friend. I know that sounds so crazy, but look, we need variety in our life. And sometimes, we'll get pits and valleys where it's like, oh my goodness, so many things all over the place. I'm kind of a little bit there. So, I'll my sister is OCD. So like literally, like for real. So when I get a little bit disorganized, I'll go over, 3 doors down and go over to her house and be like, oh, look, everything's in order. It looks like nobody lives here. This is awesome. And she's big on that. Like everything had to have that place. It always reminds me of Sleeping with the Enemy. So I have a thing about some things need to be messy because, I'm living life. Hopefully you're living life as well. Remember to build up your village people. we need sponsors. We need mentors. We need encouragers. We need our transparent, real folks. We need those folks who are, we need those accountants, can't forget our money people either. We need a variety of people in our life. If everybody in your circle looks like you, expand your circle. If everybody in your circle is the same religion as you, expand your circle. I know. But trust me, you will enrich your life in ways that you never even imagined. If everybody in your life is from the same culture, expand your village. This is an opportunity for you not only to be built, but to also help build up somebody. Look, when we talk about, a lot of times we hear like building a wall, like that is a bad thing in the way that it's being portrayed. But there's an opportunity that we have to build a wall of love. And it's not a wall to keep people out, but it's to build people up, because those stones become stepping stones in the lives of other people. So if you done something in the past, and I'll probably continue to talk about this conference because it was impactful, but the biggest thing, and I love it because we had to do sort of like little skits. I don't know how I get in these things where it's like you have to create things. And they started playing the Michael Jackson song, You Are Not Alone. And a lot of times, life just gets us in places where we think we're the only one. We think that we are alone in our struggle. You're not alone. And your village people should be helping you remember that. Maybe it's a loss of a loved one, and that empty space makes you feel alone. Maybe it's the transition of kids being grown and now you're an empty nester. You're not alone in that either. We got a whole slew of folks that's doing it and doing it well. Hello, in my LL Cool J. We're doing it well. Maybe you have anxiety about getting older and crossing over to 30, crossing over to 40, crossing over to 50. Look, on my timeline, we have a sister, Diane, her birthday. She been celebrating, I promise, for like 3 months. I love her life. I'm like, when I turn 50, yes, I have inspiration. Get people in your village who will inspire you to do better, to be better, to know more, and to go further. Why? Because life is worth living. And you got another opportunity. You're breathing, I'm breathing. Can you feel that? If we're of a certain age, our body starts making noise and maybe your knees, be like, hands on your knees. Yeah, I can't do all of that because who gonna lift me back up? Anyway, that's another story. We are blessed to be able to feel and see and know. And so that comes with the responsibility and accountability to try to impact the other people. Build your village. Build your village. I'm going to say this. Hi, Tracy. Good to see you. If you only have like-minded people in your circle, that is what I consider boring. If everybody in your life does what you do, lives like you live, looks like you look, and that's your definition, and maybe your diversity is, well, I got men and women, or I got short and tall people. I don't know what your level of diversity is, but you need to make sure that your life is being enriched by those people who are around you. And you get the choice to choose. You get the choice to choose who's going to be around you. So look, build it up. Make sure you are building stepping stones and not throwing bricks at people. Be encouraging to people around you. And if you are not like me and want to encourage the world, that's fine. Encourage your children, encourage your spouse, encourage your loved one, encourage those people closest to you. Why? Because then I don't have to do it. Like, don't leave all the work for me. Do your part. I'll do my part. And I believe that we'll be able to live in a world that is better, that's more love. We're seeing a lot of hate. We're seeing a lot of violence and shootings and people killing one another. Look, it's been that way in the earth, but I am goofy enough, I'm naive to believe that if we love each other more, less of this stuff will happen. Because if we're loving each other more, we're pointing people in the direction of, hey, maybe you need to see a mental health professional. Maybe you need some time off. Let me get those kids for an hour so you literally don't kill them. Look, there are even stories about abuse and murder of young children because we don't know what happens when people break. If you are a part of a good village, please do me a favor, like and share this post. Remind them of who they are to you. But also, one last thing that I'll remind all of us, even as we are taking care of those in our village, remember to take care of yourself. Remember to do that self-care for yourself, because if you're not taking care of it, doesn't matter who your village is. I don't want to go to none of y'all funeral. I want to see and continue to celebrate you until that appointed time. Look, we can't all live forever, but we sure don't want to do things that are going to shorten our life. So live well, love one another. Have a great day. It's Wednesday. It's Reflections of Purpose. Get your village people, build your village, and share them. Don't be stingy with your good village people. I have some good village people, and I know that they like to share their love and their talents with other people. Some of y'all don't share y'all friends. I'm going to say it right out there. Y'all don't share. You be like, this, she a good one. I don't want her to be friends with nobody else. It would be more helpful if within my circles, some of my friends could be friends. Because then I could, see y'all more often and wouldn't have to. Anyway, it don't even matter. Y'all know who y'all are. I thank you for the friends of mine that are friends. I thank you for my village people who reach out, who check on me, who remind me of who I am. I get to do more because of you all being in my village. Let's build, like literally, let's build each other. We don't have to build a wall if we build each other. We don't have to build more guns and more prisons. We don't have to build, we don't even have to build more churches if we just love each other. If we just love each other. One of these days, real soon, I'm going to talk to you about my girlfriend Yvette. And, I'm going to get her on here. Well, okay, she ain't going to never come on here, but I won't say never. She'll come on here. We'll talk about kind of how transition worked for her and how doors opened up for her in an amazing way as she just started deciding to give back to other people. Have a great day. You already know if you miss something, wait 5 minutes. It'll show up in your timeline. Ooh, that's my alarm. Got to get out of here. Let's start this day. Let's be great. But let's also inspire somebody else to be great in their lives as well. Love you all. Have a good one.